What's going on, everyone? It's me, your boy. I want to show you a technique that I picked up from a classic 90s intelligent drum and bass song. Don't get mad at me for using that term. The song is Close Your Eyes and Listen by The Chameleon, or is it just Close Your Eyes and Listen? It's one of the two. It's probably top 5 greatest tune in the genre from that era. There's this technique they do with the pad throughout the song where it's kind of panning around in the stereo field. And then as they're building up to a transition, that panning gets more intense and a lot quicker. Creates a really nice ping pong effect inside your head, gives it a nice sense of movement. So I wanted to walk through how to create something similar. And what I have is just a long 7-bar chord being held down with the Korg Triton. And I have all the effects turned off. We just have a little bit of EQ, so it's a dry sound. Sounds like this. There's a little bit of sound built in, or a little bit of movement built into the patch itself, but we want to expand on that. So first thing I'm going to do is actually use a phaser here. And in the song, you can very clearly hear some type of phaser or flanger, one of the two on that pad. So I definitely want to get a phaser in. Let's try that. And I'm going to drop the speed way down so it's not being modulated as much. I want it to be a little subtle, but noticeable. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is add a tool here, and both of these, by the way, are stock Bitwig devices. Phaser Plus, really great phaser. And tool would be the equivalent of like the utility. I think it's called an Ableton. But something where we can mess with the pan. So tool has a pan control built in, and what we're going to do is modulate that by adding an LFO. So we're going to grab the LFO and increase that pan. Now, this is all personal preference, how deep the depth of that modulation. You can increase all the way to 100%. So it's smacking hard right in the pan stereo field. Or you can have it be, I don't know, somewhere around 60. Let's keep it there for now. Then I'm going to open this up and slow down the rate of the LFO. And so you can pay attention on the right where that pan is. It's now going very slow. It's a really nice visual representation of what's happening. So if we play this, we'll get a slow pan effect. Now what we want to do is, as we're building up to a transition in the song, is we want to increase the rate of the LFO, therefore increasing the rate of the pan, so how quickly we're panning left and right. So to do that, I'm going to open the automation lane here, and I'm going to click on the rate and the LFO screen, and the automation pane will focus on that control. And now I'm just going to click plus to pin it to here. I'm going to add a marker here, add a marker at the end, and then I want to increase this. So I'm just going to simply bring this up. It may be a little extreme, but let's give it a go, and you can watch the LFO rate here increase as the song advances. Pretty cool. So then what you could do from there is do something like add a delay at the end, right? We'll just add a stock delay too. And maybe we'll go for a nice big, juicy, fat crunk reverb. Little much, so let's drop it down. And then what I'm going to do is actually increase the rate or the depth of the modulation. I want it wider. I'm feeling crazy. guys get the point there. So you can definitely play around with that. It's not a one-for-one repro of what they did, but the idea is somewhat similar. Another cool tip to just have in your bag, I think this is a great tool to use to transition into other parts of a song and break out of the mold of using common techniques for that. Like my issues, I use a 909 crash or reverse crashes to transition into other parts of the song, like way too much. This could be a really good way to get rid of that and introduce new elements in a smooth, slick way. Play around with it, make it your own. That's all I'm going to say. Drum and Bass, Bitwig Studio 2022. I love you. Goodbye.